Hello everyone, and welcome back to another epic Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever cast. Here's a little sneak preview of what's coming up in today's game.
Time travel!
Aha! Yes! Yes! Yes!
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
That's what I've been waiting for! Woo!
Flee while you can. Glorious. Glorious.
The unstoppable Exodia!
Tactical nuke incoming!
ラッシュの速さ比べか
Come here, baby.
Things are gonna be okay.
If you are new to Forged Alliance Forever, you can join here. If you haven't seen Setons clutch before, allow me to explain how it works. Setons is an asymmetrical 4v4. First off, you've got your rock slot. This is the Chad Clary slot with the most resources. Then, you've got your beach slot. They're at a disadvantage and receive from the enemy rock Chad. At the back, you've got your air pacifist for the first 10 minutes or so until they get T3, then they're going to go Super Saiyan. Last but not least, you've got your front player, who is going to be approaching the enemy. All you need to do to win is murder the enemy commanders to death without losing your own. If you lose your commander, you lose the game. All good? Great. Let's go! Would you believe it, it's another clear, sunny day on Setons Clutch here today. The sea is blue, the grass is green, and as always, the mass is ready to be slurped. Today's game is a balanced high-level 4v4, as you can see 94% here, and I'm going to be cheering for the lowest rated player here, Crusher. I don't know whether he fat-fingered the keyboard when he was making his name, or perhaps that's the number of players or trees he's crushed, but he's going to be my favourite for today. Then we've got in the bottom corner on Team 2, we've got Jackie, 1600. You can see he's making those P-gens adjacent to his mexes for the fast upgrades in the air slot. Very standard build that he's going here. On the beach slot for Team 2, we've got Unknown in this kind of like battleship stealth kind of a colour. And at the front in Korean blue, he is the only player able to level up. It is in fact solo leveling. The team captain for Team 2 down here is going to be No One Cares, who he has managed to rank himself up really quickly from 1500 to 1900 now, approaching that holy grail of 2000, which is in fact completely worthless. But I can't get to 2k, so... On the top here we've got in Rattlesnake Green, except rattlesnakes are in fact brown. In Snake Green it's Crotalus burus. I don't know what that actually means. It's a snake of some kind, I'm sure. In yellow we have Willy Wanker, who is just a little bit hands-on to own a chocolate factory, and he is already saying that he is wanting to make a tele-GC. I hope that happens. The team captain for Team 1 up here, it's gonna be... otherwise known as Yudi or Shinobu, as veteran player, has thousands of games, and he is a, well, there's no other way to say it really, he is a boy lover. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if there was a town filled with nothing but fresh pink boys, he would be the mayor of that town. Or if there was a religion devoted to pumping as many boys as possible, he would be the pope of that religion, playing in his customary pink Aeon com here. I would expect to see, if this game goes longer than 20 minutes, I would expect to see a lot of boys. And if there's any play you don't want to be facing in a late game eco war as Aeon, it's probably this guy right here. He really enjoys the super late game. He loves the super high eco. So we'll speed our game up, and we are going to have a non-consensual three-way in the middle here. This is a very fun strategy that some players like to do in order to force depression on their opponents, where the beach player will walk from the beach slot down here and basically help to win mid by stealing reclaim and pushing the other commander out of the way. It's a very effective strategy. We are going to get no island steals today by the looks of things. 3 engineers dropped here, no block available. No way to prevent this one from no one cares as well. It's obviously a little bit less build power. That is the trade-off of that strategy. If you send your comm mid, you've got less build power. And Crusher living up to his name here. Smashing those tree groups. Excuse me, trees, why are you invincible? Well, maybe he is not going to... Well, there's one. That's an extra one. Maybe that's just going to go up to 2. Trees crushed. So no island steals today. It's looking fairly straightforwards. There was an attempt to lift some engineers, possibly to make a forward naval factory, but that has in fact been spotted and shot down. So now we'll see it's going to here. So we have forward naval base. A lot of these are standard strategies on Setons Clutch. We will slow the game down as the action begins in the middle. Solo leveling under fire here from our green snack boy. There's also a number of Auroras as well, which outrange the Tech 1 comm, remember. And solo leveling going to take quite a lot of damage. Shame there is no overcharge yet for Crusher, but that's far too early for overcharge. Yeah, he just doesn't have that yet. He is building one. He's nearly there, 5 minutes. So small improvements from last time. I have enabled to always show the commander health bars. I realized that that was actually missing from the casts, and I'm very sorry about that. Secondly, I've enabled a way for me to move the screen in this view without having to zoom in and out and make everybody feel slightly sick. So that's another good improvement. We are keeping these little comm icons, so it's not really for me, I can see the comms, but for you guys on the map, it does help. You can see their comms are here, 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 and here without really needing to... it doesn't help for the yellow one, though. Excuse me, developers. Slight bug. So despite being 2v1, solo leveling hasn't really been pushed back that far yet. He's got the overcharge, and he's holding his own. Crusher and Crotalus are not really pushing him as hard as they perhaps could be. Taking a lot of Zooey fire, actually. He really did eat that one right in the face. That's a pretty big volley as well. First frigate's out, almost identical time from identical place. You can really see the meta in action here. Both players quite similar in what they're doing. Just one naval factory. Both players trying to eco as hard as possible so they can try to survive the oncoming onslaught. And if we look at the eco, as you might expect, the rock slots are ahead, 60 eco to 50 or 30 for the mids. So very even across the board, only really 10 mass in it. And Crusher has spammed out a very large amount of Tech 1 units from this base. That's pretty effective. If we do a factory count, we've got 8 there for solo leveling, and if we look at Crusher, we have 7, so he's 1 less. He's probably 2 less because 1's idle, but he's managed to hold that. That's pretty good going. He didn't really get pushed off. If we look at the amount of mass reclaimed, can we do that? So Crusher actually has the most at 8.8. No, sorry, 9. So solo leveling actually with the most mass despite being 2v1. He's done really well there in my opinion. That's pretty well played. Crotalus up here is getting savaged by the looks of things. 4 kills on this frigate. And it's going to be looking to get behind the naval yards and go after the engineers. It's extremely effective. Just reduce your opponent's build power so that when your ships arrive they have less reinforcing. This is a massacre, almost getting a level of veterancy, this frigate. The Chad Cybran frigate. Going after more engineers. PD on the beach forced. It does get a level of veterancy, but now it's going to be, well, that's 1 above and 2 on the same level. It's going to not go well for it. Lots of scouts out from Crotalus. What is he going to see with that while they're on patrols? So scouting wise, a fair amount of information for Team 1. Team 2,
Commander under attack.
well, they see almost nothing of the back here. I mean, the builds are fairly standardized. They can probably guess that there'll be T3 air in about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, so not super important, but that scouting, particularly of the mid area, lets you know if you're going to get cheesed in some horrible way. When there is a meta, so right now there's going to be a there's T2 air. I don't know if he could make Tech 2 bombers. He could definitely raid some mexes with those. When there is a very firm established meta in a game, doing something unusual can actually be pretty good for you. And speaking of unusual, we have a Tech 2 transport from Crusher here. He is loading up a whole bunch of light artilleries. And we can expect a drop very soon. No one cares, going T2 on his comm, engineering. So because his naval yard is so far away, he really needs this. He needs this upgrade in order to build Tech 2 power. Very standardized build. When you're looking to go T2, it's not always best to just throw it on your land factory if you're going air, or if you're navy factory and you're too far away. Getting it on the comm can be a really good idea. It does always open the possibility of a comm drop later on in the game. Those Cybern frigates with their excellent AA, taking down some scouty boys. And here comes the drop. So the Crusher here, pretty strong transport agenda. That's gonna get in and get out by the looks of things. Are these on mech's priority? It looks like they are, and that's gonna be pretty disgusting. Only a scout to stop them. How many mexes will be lost here? Alright, this is his direct opponent, so can't really blame this on another player. And wow. An immediate control K after losing 2 mexes.
Oh my gosh, there he is.
And unfortunately for Team 1, that hands the base over to the top player on Team 2, who is attempting to use the Setons to deal with the fervors. Getting rid of this would be excellent. So 1, 2, 3, 4 mexes lost there, almost 5. So a very good drop from Crusher there, living up to his name. He does get the crush. The transport highly damaged, but he may get another drop if he's lucky. And tank's going to be lifted this time, so Aurora's on the way. Things looking not so good in Navy for Team 1. They're slightly outnumbered in the top pond. Things looking even in the bottom pond. The game goes a little bit flat, so we will speed it up. And that is a drop queued up down here. So going for the bottom island, going for unknown space. Perhaps I should remove the nameplates, but you can kind of see what's going on the map, so it's not super urgent. Looking at the eco, as you might expect, Rockslot still ahead, but no one cares, actually ahead of her Chama for now, who is getting his T2 power. Everything is paused. He's having some kind of eco issues. All his engineers are currently paused. Minus 72 mass. I'm not sure what's draining all of his mass there. Is he on an upgrade somewhere? He's making a lot of frigates still. Maybe he's maybe he's just pausing his eco and doing a rush. This drop looks like it's gonna get in. A PD being rushed. And Hard to see how that's going to succeed. The PD shoos off the tanks. They can outrange the tank here. This is a T3 mechs. If he loses a T3 mechs to Tech 1 units, that's going to be so painful. What can he do about this? They need a Tech 1 bomber, really. Keeping a Tech 1 bomber here to deal with the drop would be a great plan, but they're too busy dealing with this. There is a naval rush happening. Maybe that's why Chama paused all of his air, all of his production in space to just throw out a few more frigates. Not really sure. Maybe he was waiting for these T3 mechs to finish. Perhaps a little bit more likely. This is going to be a terrible fight for Team 2. Look at the concave here on the units. Much more effective DPS here coming out. Those tanks were not able to get rid of the mechs. This is effectively like a 10 versus 3 fight repeatedly here. Torp launchers forced, but they're losing naval factories now. Again, like a 10v1. It's like another 10v2. So, Chama taking great fights here with his frigates. All the mass is dropped onto his opponent though, so he has to take those great fights, although it will not be worth it at all. We've got 3 torp launchers, but Aeon frigates are the most resilient to torpedoes as well. Torp bombers over the top. All the engineers going down, and this has the makings of a fairly quick naval crush just through loss of build power. Remember, if you can have all the money in the world, but if you haven't got build power to spend it, it's useless. The reaction here is to build a PD on the beach. Very sensible. That will shoo away those frigates. In the top pond, it looked like we were going to have an exact copy of that situation. We've got a Shift G here. This is probably prompted by the action in the bottom pond. Feeling that they have to counter. That is going to be an absolute mess. 2 green Cyber and frigate armies. And hiding them behind the naval yards is a great idea. PD on the beach, also a good idea. But I think there's just going to be too many here from No One Cares. I think there's just going to be too many. Yeah, the naval yards going down, the frigates are going down, the torpedoes get killed. A Cyber engineer given over to Chama. Torpedo launcher being built on the comm. Really needs Tech 2 PD to deal with this, because the frigates are going to murder those engineers. This will be an absolute massacre. So not opting to go into the PD. On the bottom side, Chama is getting torped. And there's not really anything he can do about it. The ASF here are not where they need to be. And bad times up here for Crotalus. He's getting ganked pretty hard here. There's nothing he can do about this now. There's too many frigates, and just as he was if he was gonna harms, has he got T3 on there? That's a pretty smart move. That actually might work. I thought he was doomed, but actually a harms will probably work, because if he'd just built Tech 2 PD, it's going to get outranged by the Salem immediately. We'll do a quick ASF count. I saw in the chat they were talking about who had the most. There's basically 50 there for Team 1. And 44, so very close. It's really not that much in it. A single turn will decide that. The harms does actually sink, so it does get finished, but it's not deep enough. And the frigates are actually able to shoot it. I don't think they're going to get it though. So it is going to survive, thanks to the torp bombers and the torp comm. And poor Chama's frigates just getting... I mean, this is non-consensual, this. So many of them have died here. I remember a torp bomber costs more than the frigate, right? It's 200 and this is like 300, something like that. Another Harms gets finished. And it's very difficult. So this one actually died. So they managed to kill one Harms, but another one finishes immediately. And a huge number of blazes. So Crusher turns his attention from mid to spamming floaty boys. We've got advanced RAS down here for unnknown. T3 on the comm here for Jackie, who has already got T3. This is quite unusual, unless he's going RAS as well. Why is he going T3 on his comm? Well, not that it matters. Maybe he's using the larger build range. No one cares. Well, his comm is paused. It has T3. He's used that to make T3 P-gens. And I think the hope here for Team 1 is that the Hover army can fight long enough for Crotalus to get back into the naval game. He is going back to T2. Chama says, give all your air. The ASF are passed over. So he has gotten fed up of this. His T2 naval factory is about to die here, but it's not his HQ. His HQ is in fact down here. So I don't know if Unknown saw that. Whole bunch of torp bombers here, and does Chama have vision? No, he's got some scout planes, so he has some idea of what's going on. We've got a three-way split for Jackie, so he split his ASF here to kind of avoid the larger ASF wave. And instant SAMs, 1, 2, 3, 4 SAMs here. Are we going to see SAMs anywhere else? No. But that will make sure they can't stay over the base and basically camp out over the base and spawn kill all the new ASF as they come out of the factory. But they can murder all the torp bombers. Still so many torp bombers though. They've got air superiority and he's still losing the navy to torp bombers. On top of that, the mid has been overrun. So those blazes turn their attention from the sea to the land here and they overrun mid. Frantic Tech 1 PD being spammed, but I don't think that's going to be enough. No wonder I was finding it tough to keep up. We're on +2. Tech 3 Engineer building a SAM here is going to go down. Or is it? Maybe? Yes it is. Just before the blazes die to Othams, so T3 tanks on the field for no one cares there. And we've got a lot of cruisers, these Cybran cruisers, loads of them. We've got 6, 7, 8 cruisers, an aircraft carrier and a battleship out versus one destroyer, a Harms and some floaty boys. Navy not looking good in the top pond, honestly. In the south pond, we've got triple sub-hunter. They don't have a lot of health, but they have great range, the T3 sub-hunters. They are very strong. But you mostly see them in lower level games. I don't normally see people spamming them in the high-ranked matches. If you know why that is, let me know in the comments. I suspect it's because they're just a little bit squishy and a little bit expensive. And they obviously can't damage structures if you do happen to win. Cybran destroyers on the land here, but they are getting fondled from behind in a very non-consensual manner. Remember that Cybran destroyers can't shoot backwards.
Hey, stop! Why?
So many blazes. He's got like 100 tanks there. He's got so many. He's just spamming out of his base. And he's actually getting work done. He is killing the destroyers with them, which is frankly quite amazing. What are we working on eco-wise? Well, T3 Navy, that's going to be for battleships. He must have his own battleships to counter this or he just loses. We've got an air grid up here, so he's going T3 air, so it's going to be support air. Big air grid here for Willy Wanka Noob. Chama, well, as you might expect, at 24 minutes, he is on nearly 700 eco and producing boys, as we expected there. He's got a huge mass fab farm thing going on. I don't know, that's a template build he's got there. He is but a simple farmer, tending to his fabs. Battleship fleeing from the mighty blaze spam. What can we do against such blind hatred? That destroyer about to have a very sad day. Inertia and friction mean nothing in this universe. If you die, you immediately stop dead, no matter what your mass or your speed was. And a GC spammed here by Crusher, who is actually playing really well, I think. Not only has he saved his ally here, he's about to put massive amounts of pressure on mid. And no one cares says an unscouted GC, but he is in fact the mid player, so an air factory making scouts would not be out of the realm of his what would be considered his normal duties for a mid player. There are also a large amount of ASF blocking it, so wouldn't necessarily work. There's a lot of navy here. If the GC could come up here and beam this navy, it would pay for itself almost immediately with killing the cruisers. Is it on a move command or an attack command? That's the question. It's going to take a lot of damage from this navy. He could probably dodge this. So much fire coming from the navy to the GC. Cyber and Navy here, as ever, taking the more dakka approach to combat. Less aiming, more shooting. That is the Cyber way. It's going to scoop up those Othams. GC very strong against Othams, I think. Not as strong as a chicken, but no one cares completes his chicken there, which is going to counter the GC along with these units. Will it get its maths worth? Because there's so many battleships now as well firing. Going after the PD. And it's going to opt to retreat. Jackie lost his Omni there. I guess that was here. Very expensive. And it did 13,000 damage before retreating. I think it probably could have finished off the space. Or it could have walked up here and killed this navy. But Crusher is playing well. We're not going to start beating him up for his decisions. He obviously does not have the hindsight of all the vision that we have. And a huge amount of air now for Team 2. But not as much as Team 1, who have 2 players spamming air. Although the air here seems to be making torp bombers? Or is he passing them over? It's a lonely Notha bombing the GC here. Can't imagine that will last long. And the Crush. This is not going to work out. That's just walking into a bunch of frigates. Down here we've got an attempt to push the naval yard and kill the engineers. But it doesn't look like that's going to work out either. It's walking into the destroyers. And remember, destroyers with their torpedoes do a very large amount of damage, even if they miss. Yeah, it's just going to die. So I think her Chama will hold here. Whether he can hold against the T3 subs, I don't know yet. We will have to see. Crusher moving his way to the pond. That's for protection. A drop command going to be going here. I assume that's to build... Maybe that's to build SAMs, or maybe to build torp launchers. Now, who would win? T3 subs or Aeon destroyers? the Aeon destroyers will certainly need to get in close because they have half the range. And torps are omnidirectional weapons. GC looking to move back in, but the chicken is up. This, oh, look at the formation here going around the wall. That's just going to feed veterancy to the chicken, surely. You must see the chicken shots here. They don't have an Omni. 28 minutes, no Omni in mid. Oh, they do have one. Maybe maybe Willy Wanker is stalling power. Nope, I'm just blind. That is pretty sad. The GC is just running away. Better to keep it though than leave a mass dump here, which will get turned into something nasty. It does look like those pink boys did manage to get dropped into the water here, so the mandatory beach episode coming up for them. Three battleships versus 4 battleships. 5 battleships. So 4v5, it's actually fairly even in battleship count. That's some quick maths for you there. And with the blazes to take care of the frigates, things may equalise in that top pond, actually. Which is pretty surprising. Now, given enough time, the GC will actually out-regen the chicken. And the chicken is more of an anti-T3 weapon with its enormous balls. Whereas the GC is kind of like a dedicated experimental killer, I think. Dedicated common experimental killer with its high health and just single target beam. More shields required, I think, for that top pond. We've got another sneaky drop trying to evade our vision here. I wonder how many of those there have been. It looks like this is the first. No, there's another one down here. 2 harbs make landfall here onto this T3 mechs. 2 harbs get shot down here. And, well, what's going... Can they see this one? Oh, wrong team, sorry. No, they've got no vision down here, so this will actually work out. Double chicken in mid. Very strong. We've got Cyber boys in the water. Definitely want to focus those before they start getting the harms out. Looks like those... The 2 harbs did kill the T3 mechs, but then they died. I think that's still worth it as a trade, actually. T3 mechs for a couple of harbs, I think that's a good trade. I would probably take that trade any day. Just the micro that you have to pay to get the transport in there is a bit expensive, but let's not think about that. Got a battleship micro war in the top pond. Oh, he did get to drop these. We'll just bring the map up large whilst we look at what happens here. The Chama is in the pond at the back. Ah, looks like they've died immediately to PD. And the transport... They're not going for the mexes? I'm not sure why this one is refusing to fire. Maybe it's just stuck. It's got the transport is balancing on its head. It's wearing the transport as if it were a hat. That is it has the biggest hat ever. This is a new unit, maybe new experimental. I don't know. But that's not going to work out. Back to the match. Torp bombing the RAS boys. You can see 1 harm did make it up. Which is pretty strong. There's not a lot of missile. There's not a lot of torps. In fact, there is no torps in this navy at all. Got 1 nuke sub at the back. Is that loading? It is. So we've got 1 nuke sub loading. We've got the double chicken push, and there are mercies being produced. A large number of mercies being produced. Willy there living up to his name somewhat by spamming mercies. I think this GC might die before it even does any damage. Yeah, going after the anti-air, very sensible choice. Big brain there going after the anti-air. But probably not going to be enough. Why are they frantically loading the anti-nuke? It's about to die. Who has a nuke? Nobody has a nuke. Not sure why the panicked anti-air was going up. Panicked anti-nuke was going on there. There's a lot going on in the top pond. The frigates made it into close proximity. Huge number of torp bombers respond. Down here the battleships and the destroyers are firing on the chickens who get mercied. Remember, when this dies, the ion storm is going to hurt its allies all around it. Only half the mercies are getting through due to the flak. That one took all 3 out. So definitely not all the mercies getting through there. Let's see, there's 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 made it before the flak killed them. That one died. That one died to the lightning tank. I think the Corsairs tanked some of the flak for them there. So flak not 100% effective against mercy fire due to the range. No one cares complaining about his air player. Because the chickens died to the mercies, but there wasn't really a lot. He could have forced an air fight over the aircraft carriers, maybe. But blaming players lower ranked than you, not cool. Big pack of Barracudas out at late game. Good to see people swapping up their units. Basically nothing in this can shoot torpedoes or have any torpedo defense, so now is this important? A scout goes over the comm here. Look at the amount of boys. This is the great boy migration. 30 minutes and Chama up to 1,500 mass income, and he's working on a Paragon. Would you believe it? Stealth gen, hives, anti-nuke, boy factory, T3 air, shield, Paragon. What is the response? Well, there's a nuke launcher going up here from Jackie. No one cares starts a Scathis, so we are going late game with this. The how many subs is that? This is a great counter, by the way. I really love this play. We've got 30 Barracudas, and they're going to just tear through the battleships. Look at that. And what is he doing? Well, the response is to make his own Barracudas, but it's a little bit late. They need to torp bomb this, really. Why not make torp bombers? I feel like no one cares could make a T2 air factory and spam some of his own torp bombers if he really wanted. Not that expensive, and seeing as he's got so many SAMs here, he can definitely protect them. No, he's opting to use... Jackie is opting to drop harms instead to assist. And I think due to the recent change, the harms are now no longer at the bottom of the ocean. They're actually only slightly under the water, so you can ground fire them a bit easier. Down here we've got the destroyers versus the sub-hunters. And that looks like it's gone well for the sub-hunters. More importantly, it looks like her Chama has stopped producing naval units completely. So the pro tip here is if you're against a high rated player and you notice that they have stopped making units, that should be setting off some alarm bells, and you probably want to think about what they're doing with all of that mass instead, because it's probably not going to be good for you.
Behold, the power of the Illuminate. Flee while you can. Glorious. Glorious. Glorious.
Crusher says he will lose all his eco. Jackie is starting teleporter. He's going for an all-in. No one cares is going for the Scathis with double base eco. It looks like Unknown is basically just reclaiming everything and sending all the mass to the Scathis. So, yeah, he's reclaiming absolutely everything. We've got a huge amount of torpedoes in the top pond, so Jackie opting to clear out all of the subs, but the damage has been done. That attack kind of got stalled. So much mass going to No One Cares now. He's being fed. He's basically been spoon-fed thousands of mass. Chicken here from the beach player Unknown. It's on the beach chilling. against Blazes, and chicken versus Blazes, you would think the chicken would win that. A lovely little love heart being drawn here. Oh, you can't. If I turn the icons off, there you go. Look at that. Ah, Valentine's Day. The Valentine's Day ASF heart. Don't let anyone tell you that this channel isn't for romantics. Boys being dropped. What have we got over here? More sub-commanders going pop. This chicken basically untouched. No tactical pauses. Oh, it's from the telly! Oh, I missed it. We must rewind.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
So here we are in the past, and you can see that Jackie here in the corner has completed Teleporter, and he is on his way to the back. On our zoom over, let's point out that her Chama has got almost double the eco of a player on 2 bases here with way more map control. What an absolute eco god. But Jackie is going to be teleporting into the back of the base, and he's going to be going after this poor Paragon here, which is 96, 97%. Some tactical pausing there. Absolute cheap shot. That's a great Paragon snipe there by Jackie. But there's no way out of this one. He is going to pay for that Paragon with his life. And I think the explosion damaged the reclaim. That Paragon starting from about 25%. Maybe less, instead of the 50 that it perhaps should have. And the Paragon is now basically back to the start, and the Scathis is done, so Jackie basically YOLOing in there with his comm like a Cybran Chad that he is. Has definitely given the bottom team, Team 2, a huge advantage. The side island is under pressure from aircraft carrier missiles and Nothers. What is going on in the chat? Now no one cares, starts making the YOLO. Oh, this is going to be so expensive. All the eco is crushed immediately. There's no shields going up here. Crotalus is working on laser. He's doing tele, so he's looking to do the same thing back. And I guess tellying just here and doing the same thing back would be kind of perfect, right? Kill this, then this. Easy. Easy life. We've got a drop from No One Cares on here, so this is going to be a forward base for Team 2. They're pushing up through the middle. They're winning the island, the Navy in the top. They've got torp bombers everywhere. They're winning the middle push. They've got chicken. They've got T3 anti-air. They're all over the place right now. The Scathis is crushing. Paragon is only up to half. Things look absolutely dire for Team 1. They've lost... Well, they've lost no players, but they've lost... I feel like Team 2 down here has been sacrificing their players for position, apart from this chud down here who basically control Cade because he lost a Mex. Don't do that if you're playing a team game. It's a really shitty thing to do. These Mexes... they're shields, but they're only Tech 2 shields. And Tech 2 mobile shields versus Scathis. Yeah, that's not going to work out so great.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are going to be okay.
So are we going to see the revenge teleport? We are going to see the revenge teleport. This time I will definitely catch it. Where is it going? It's going here, but there's so much PD being thrown up already. And is he teleporting outside of the... no, he's not. He's going inside the shield. He's here. The Scathis is going down. What's next? The YOLO? The YOLO? Yep. He picks the YOLO off too. What a god. That's an SACU. That is not a comm. That is a waste of firepower. But it doesn't matter. We could have got the anti-nuke, I think, there, maybe. But he picked off both of them, so the Scathis is gone. And that means Team 1 is now back in with a shot. The Paragon is nearly done. There will be no more Scathis shots coming in. Or will there? There's another Scathis here. Unknown is building his own Scathis. He doesn't want to sit back and let... No one cares to take all the fun here. The Paragon is done.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
And Chama is going to switch into immediate production. The game is completely fundamentally changed for him at this point, remember. Mass no longer means anything. His potential mass income is now 10,000 a second, which is enormous. And you're going to start to see the mass spike here for Team 1. As Chama scales his production exponentially, he will have to survive in order to spend the mass, though. Well, Crusher's comm is in the water here, and that's where the first nuke is going from this sub that we saw building earlier. Are there others? Well, there's one here. Is he going to make it out alive? This is going to be extremely close. Will this kill Crusher? It's going to be so close. No, it doesn't. It does enough damage to kill the structure here.
Not even close, baby.
4,000 damage to the combat. Not enough to kill him. Only just. The rest of the boys did die. And the invasion begins. The land invasion is beginning. Huge amount of T3 scouts. We've got T3 engineers coming here. Building nothing but build power, but he really needs to get something to shoot back. The longer he builds just build power, the longer this Scathis stands a chance, which is almost done. The Scathis is going to complete, and the bombardment surely will begin again.
Come here, baby.
The giant Cybran Beyblade of Doom. Like a nice flower, except then it kind of rakes your base. And this is a really kind of depressing thing. Well, we've got a GC, a tele-GC happened. Oh my god, we're gonna have to go back in time to see that.
Time travel! What?
So here we are in the past yet again. Let's have a look at where these teleport SACUs are. They are right here. We've got 5 Aeon Chad boys, and they are on their way down south. Incidentally, you can see here that Chama's secondary navy is getting Pearl Harbored here. Not a lot that's happening to stop that. But the teleport's coming in here. The GC is being queued up right next to this PGen. The immediate Aeon sacrifice order given as a Aeon unique ability that any of their units with build power have, and the GC is done right in the back of the base. There's no defenses here. Well, save for these Cerberus turrets, but tickling the GC is probably not going to stop it from murdering you in the face. It's going for the nuke, which is loading. Or is it on power preset? You see the look at the mass eco. The eco is 5.5k to 1k here whilst this is happening. The nuke goes down, the power grid's dying, the air grid's dying. And despite the second Scathis being up, it feels like Team 1 now are back in the driving seat. They have an extra player, they're crushing the air grid. These Tech 1 bombers are probably going to do more damage to the mass reclaim than they are to the actual GC. Veterancy is going to keep it alive. The face beam of doom just going to murder all the PGens. Will a single PGen survive here? No, it won't. Everything is gone. Not even the Hydro survived. Not even the Hydro was spared from this power massacre.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Bam. That was a very effective, but if expensive GC. It's about 100,000 mass to do that. But, given the game state, I'd say it's probably worth it. Another Paragon got started somewhere. The game is happening way too quickly. We are not even on plus speed. We've got a huge fight at 40 minutes. We've got labs. We've got flares versus Medusas. The terrain here is very difficult to use PD on. See, they're just flying down over the hills. Crusher turning his attention from spamming all of his spam factories that were throwing out huge amounts of blazes are now turned to throwing in flares. But the Medusas are already up, are going to do huge damage. The eco grid is going down. Not that it makes any difference to her Chama, who has a has that glorious Paragon already. His comm is up here in the danger zone. Why is his comm up here? He's got teleporter. He's just teleporting randomly around in the sea. That's got to be giving a huge eco drain, but I guess it doesn't matter because... No, he's moving. He's got a move command back here. Okay. The Yelona Os started. Second Paragon started. There's going to be there's mass Tsar everywhere. But it looks like her Chama is deciding not to build any shields over his production and his hives.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Nothing but factories making T3 engineers, but there's no shields. No shields mean that, you know, 1 or 2 shots will just destroy this from the Scathis. This is really weak to Scathis fire. The shields don't cost any energy for him anymore. We're kind of relying on the chat to see when people are going, but there'll be another teleport soon by the looks of things. An attack ping on her Chama's comm. There are no subs to deal with him, though. Perhaps a nuke could kill him. Nuke subs are loaded. Tempest. I guess there's a whole bunch of... So there are 1, 2, 3... There's a whole bunch of RAS boys here that I assume are getting teleport upgrades. They are, look. Well, there's a mass teleport of boys. And they are going here. There's going to be a teleport Tempest in the pond. A nuke goes over the top. Where is that? The nuke is going after her Chama's combat. He's teleporting. Is he going to escape? I don't know if he's... Depends if he's stalling E. I think he's going to get away. The nuke is really close. What is this game? Zars are coming up. There's multiple Zars. Air will no longer be a threat. The Tempest is started. It's going to be really close. If he could die here. The nuke's coming. He teleports away just as it lands. Oh my god.
Tactical nuke incoming!
What an absolute monster. But his base is getting wrecked by the Scathis. He just needs some shields. I don't know if he's stubbornly refusing to build shields or it's just not efficient to build shields, but the Tempest is done. More boys here, and they're building Transcenders. The Tempest is going after the Scathis, but there's so much build power here that they can surely assist this shield pretty quickly. I don't think the Tempest is going to have enough damage to break that. Tempest of the Lake. Team 1 needs your wisdom. How would you suggest winning this game? And her Chama is now down here teleporting randomly, so this is clearly his strategy that he likes to do. There's another teleporter here. Willy Wanker is at the bottom. He's building attack base, but it hasn't worked out. We're going to have to go back in time again to see what happened. Here we are back in the past again. As you can see, Willy Wanker here is teleporting down to the bottom. In the meantime, the flares are completely overrunning the base here. This position from No One Cares has not worked out. Willy Wonka arrives. He goes for the stealth generator immediately. I think there's Omni though. There is Omni up. And that little grey dot is here. How long does it take for them to see them? Sneaky cyber music.mp3. Yeah, No One Cares notices it. And immediately all the Tech 1 bombers from a nearby airfield are assigned to go and bomb the TAC base. Perhaps if he had made a shield and a SAM, he could have lived, actually.
Oh, no.
But it's only TAC missiles. Does he get the missile away? He's probably going for the Scathis. It looks like he's trying to teleport out. It doesn't look like he's going to get a TAC missile off either. Poor Willy could have sent an SACU to do this, being Aeon, but he decided to go and do it himself, and I respect that work ethic. But it looks like this will be the end of Willy Wonka.
Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba. But it does contain the unstoppable Exodia. Impossible!
He's trying to teleport out. He might escape. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. He nearly got out. Oh my god. Another teleport here with boys. We've got double Tempest in the pond at the back. What is going on? We've got 6 Zars now. We've got a GC here. Another teleport command. The GC is idle. The Tempests, I don't think the Tempests are going to work. I think they can just... it might have been better to use those boys to build PD or something. I don't know. It doesn't look like they can get through the shields. There's just too much build power. The GC is off on an adventure. The GC could kill these Scathis if it gets there. Can they see that? They can't see it, but they must know, surely. Chama's comms here. He's got another base in the top. He's got subs here. He's got boys over here. What else is happening? Well, this is clearly a decisive moment. Oh, the shield just got upgraded. They just upgraded the shield. It can definitely kill the Scathis, right? He needs to walk right next to it and just beam it in the face. So confusing. The shields are all over the place. Oh my god, it's not going to kill it. The GC just dies standing up. It just passes out from all the gunships. So many Zars. We've got more teleporting boys. This is the I've never seen so many teleporting boys in a game. But I feel like the jig is up, right? They know it's happening now. These are going to get amazing value. These. One hit kills the T3 mechs. The SAMs are going to get great value, but it's over for the Sea Donuts here, I'm afraid. The base is still standing strong despite the crazy amount of bombardment.
Commence the attack. We have incoming fire.
This game is now down to a 2v2, and it's really hard to see who is actually on top. These actually lived a lot longer than I thought they would. A real shame that this didn't work. This was a great attempt. You certainly wouldn't ever expect this. Look at the amount of mass killed on these. Absolutely disgusting. 6,000 on each of them. The Tsars are on the move. The ASF not with them, but I assume they'll be brought in. There's a lot of ASF here. How many ASF does... No one cares has 450 ASF. The Chama... Well, he's only got 142. Oh, that's not enough. The Tsars, though... Oh my god. More Tsars, more Tsars, more Tsars. I feel like if he had just made a single salvation here... He has them. It's not like he doesn't have the build power. Maybe he's just using it to keep the shields up. But a single salvation would be able to deal with... It's only one shield here. The surprise of the damage might be able to deal with it. We've got a multiples... We've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 Tsars versus 400 ASF. Oh my god, they get deleted almost immediately, look. Chama going for the try-hard Shift G beam attack. Don't really blame him. Locking them together, a bit of a filthy try-hard. Please, bring the ASF in, the ASF can turn it. They might be able to, you know... How many has he killed? He's killed 100 already. He could bring the ASF in. It would actually help. At this point, it would actually make a difference. He's probably doing far too many things at once, maxing out all of his APM. There is a comm here. If this one dies, it will be only one player left. There's another teleport Tempest. Chama is doubling, tripling down on his teleport Tempest strategy here. He now has 3 of them in the pond, and he still has the SAMs to protect them. Not sure why that is the tactic of the day, but that is what we're doing. The Giga Chad tripled pond Tempest. That is going to be your screenshot of the week right there. Oh my god. The Tsars are going down. Will they make it to the Scath? There's 2 Scathers, 3 Scathers now. No one cares. Looks like he's about to fly into the beam here. Well, look at them delete the ASF. Look, you can just see them blink off the map. There's so few ASF now that it might be that he can actually... There's only 100. Technically, Team 1 have air control. They have more ASF. No one cares is retreating his ASF. I have no idea why. Boys are going pop over here. Oh, there's not going to be enough left. One goes down here. One goes down there on that Scathis. It's going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. Oh my god, both Scathis left with just 1,000 hit points. If only one more Tsar survived, the game would be so different. There'd be no Scathis left. But currently it's 3 Scathis to 1 Paragon. And there is a 4th teleport Tempest in the pond.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
And the super nuke finishes, and it's going to be used on the Tempests. It's going to be used on the Tempests. Oh my god. If they fire again, they'll get it. If they just fire one more time. Ah! They hit the shield. Yeah, he got the tele. It didn't kill it. In comes a Tsar. He's going after the comm. No, he's not going after the comm. Bit of a change of plan there. He's going after the super nuke. Is he going to get it? Ah! I think he will. Get crushed. Crusher living up to his name again. Oh, but the hives are going down over here. I don't think it's sustainable. They've lost the super nuke, but there's still 3 Scathis, right? No, the Scathis died too. There's only 2 left. You can do it, Chama. Keep the shield. No! The shields fail. Look how quickly he can build one of those. The Tech 2 shield protects the Tech 3 shield. If he can come back from this, it will be the greatest comeback of all time, I swear. T3 shield goes up. There's more boys dying though. If only these had died to the Tsars, it would be incredible. They'd be back in the game. He'd be able to win. It was so close. If only this tac missile snipe had worked. I think he might have lost too many of the nuke defenses. Chama, what are you doing? He's working on the shield. He can keep the shield up against the Scathis. He can do it. Another nuke goes here on the production facility, so not going for the Scathis. Not going for the Paragon. Crusher control Ks. He thinks it's all over.
There is no way to go
Building bugs up in the top corner. This could actually work. If they didn't lose the air, I think the air might have died to the Scathis fire. 2 more Tsars. You know, if they can snipe, this is totally viable again. There's a teleport in here, but it doesn't work. Oh, it was so close again. And Chama leaves the game. He still has his Paragon, but he feels like that is enough. That was so close. And that is GG. He leaves with his Paragon intact. They never did manage to kill it. And if only the teleport GC had been a bit closer, if the Tsars had been protected by the ASF, if the Tsars had been one more Tsar. Oh my god. If this teleport Tempest had happened a bit earlier. It was so close. Oh my god, I love it. What a game. I should have removed the players as I went as well, and I didn't. I got so carried away. I think my player of the game there has got to be Crusher here, the lowest rated player. He was a complete Chad, fending off all sorts of things from mid. Very well played. Derp Award today is going to solo leveling for rage quitting at 12 minutes into what is probably one of the best Setons games I've ever seen. Well, I hope you enjoyed the game, everyone. I will see you for another game soon. As you know, I only cast games that I think are amazing, which means I end up watching and recording lots of these and then going, nah, afterwards. But this one, I will definitely be spending the time to edit it into something good for you all to enjoy. So these are our scores. As you can see, Chama way out ahead of everyone, even when he didn't have the Paragon. Look, despite being having less bases than no one cares. We look at the standard scores, absolutely ridiculous. Congratulations to Chama for being an absolute god in that game. That's going to be all for me for this week. In the future, look out, I'm going to be trying to do a stream once a week with some community games, some prizes, some unusual stuff, some meme reviews. Until next time, I will leave you with Keyboard Cat. See ya!